Excuse me, ma'am. Can I talk with you for a minute? I am Pauline from the village of Buxton. I know your granddaughter, Sister Agatha Mosley, and I know your daughter too, Miss Truda James. Yes. Yes, Truda James used to be the fowl seller. She sells fowls in the market in town. And your daughters used to sew clothes with a seamstress. We went to the same church. Yeah, I want to talk to you about a story she told me. Yes, I'm so proud of you. You know the story about the trench? Not that old. Don't say that. It's a very important story. Because of you, I am able to say, I am proud of Buxton women and I want to tell your story to the whole world. So here is what your granddaughter said. You know, I wanted to know more about this Buxton people stop train. You know, I learned that Buxton women were defiant after slavery. They had bought our plantation and they made a village and they were taxing them. The colonialists were taxing the life out of them and they wouldn't have it. And they wanted an audience with the governor, so they wanted to stop the train. And these pregnant women went on the train tracks. I was horrified as I got older and understood the import of that. They were going to give the ultimate sacrifice, embodiment of women power. They were going to lay down on the tracks to die. Why? For land, for us, so that I can be free, that I could be born free. I thank you and your generation so much. Well, my generation? Oh, I come from the Watson family. You know, Patience Watson? Yeah, that one that, you know, helped buy the village back there in 1841. Well, here now, Cousin got to say that one day you and your two friends were wading in a trench on the plantation. That's how you used to get your money. And she said two overseers, white overseers, came and one said, "Carry me cross." And your friend said, "No, slavery done, me not carry your cross." And you said, "Yes, me go do it." But I couldn't understand this thing because there were no boats there. How you gonna carry him across? She said you came out of the trench. I can imagine you, wet from the bosom down and carefully crawling up the embankment because it would be wet and muddy and slippery. And you got up there on the dam and in all your African womanliness, you squatted and this man lifted his right leg and put it over your shoulder. Then he lifted his left ugly leg and put it over your next shoulder. And then he wrapped his legs around your neck, hitched up his crutch against the back of your neck, and he sat there on your neck. And you raised on your strong African legs, and you walked into the trench, and you walked, and I'm listening to the story, and I expect that you take him to the other side. But Sister Mosley said, you said, when I got to the middle of the trench, me shake kabakra, me shake kabakra. He fell off into the water. Maybe he drank a little nasty water, but he scrambled out of that trench. He never came back. He went where he was going. That story lives among the many narratives of Buxton people. It's not a well-known story, and I'm really glad Sister Mosley gave me that interview and told me that story. Today, can I call you Cousin Gata grandmother? Okay. Cousin Gata grandmother, let me tell you, in a place named America, a black man died because a white police officer kneeled on his neck. Yes, on his neck for 9 minutes until he died. You know, the whole world can see it. How? Well, these days we have TV and we have phone and you can take moving pictures and the whole world seeing it. And they're amazed, they're alarmed, they're angry. Some are burning, some are rioting, some are doing many things. They're in the streets. A couple of years back, a white young man went into a black church where they were praying. He gunned them down. And you know what the police did? They came and they got him and they took him somewhere and gave him hamburger to eat. And then they took him to jail. Today he breathes. He breathes. And Eric Garner does not breathe. George Floyd does not breathe. And many young black men don't breathe because white police officers kill them in the streets. They say they're criminals. They took a criminal, a confessed criminal, and they say he crazy. A couple of years back, a white young man went into a black church where they were praying. He gunned them down. And you know what the police did? They came and they got him and they took him somewhere and gave him hamburger to eat. And then they took him to jail. Today he breathes. He breathes. And Eric Garner does not breathe. George Floyd does not breathe. And many young black men don't breathe because white police officers kill them in the streets. They say they're criminals. They took a criminal, a confessed criminal, and they say he crazy. Doesn't got a grandmother. It's for these stories that I want to tell the world how women have survived, how women have defied. And so, as a black woman and a black Buxtonian woman, coming from generations like yours and mine, I breathe. I dare to breathe. I will breathe. I will breathe until my last breath. I'm going to breathe for my brothers. I'm going to breathe for my nephews. I breathe for the village men. I breathe for the black man. I breathe for every person who stands against injustice in this case. I dare to breathe. And to all the Buxtonians and those who hear my voice, breathe. Help us breathe. Because in our collective breath, we can change things. We breathe so we show our generations from now how we are and what we've done. We stand up and we don't let the work of our previous generations go to waste. Today, I am partnering with Lubuntu Books, with Komaka Tree Books, my line of books, so that we can hold a virtual conference, a summit, the first Black Global Virtual Summit on June 16th and 17th, where we will garner the youth to tell us their stories, to tell us how they survive and how they live in an age of modern day lynching of the black person, because women are murdered too. We want to give our young people a space to breathe, hopefully a safe space to breathe. If you would like to be a part of that, please join us. Sign up to participate, have a young person tell their stories. I know to do this one thing. I know to tell stories. I'm going to tell the stories. And I dare to breathe and tell stories. Join me if you can. Thank you and walk good.